Now, Mob Psycho is a show that I personally adore more than most others. In fact, I am very confident in saying that I don't think there's even a side character I love more than Reagan. And there's definitely not been an OP I have vibed more to than both of Mob Psycho's intros. Let me just give you a quick recap on the history of Mob Psycho 100 and the mangaka that wrote the story. I messed that up. Now, Mob Psycho was written by a mangaka that goes under the name of One. He has written a few manga series, including the already notorious manga series One Punch Man, and if you've watched that, you know he's got a great sense of humour. I mean, I can't lie, Saitama's just me when I drink too much alcohol. So I relate to him despite me not remembering a thing about the night before. Weird times. Now, Mob was written in 2012 and was written during a time when the mangaka was going through a deep struggle, and was said that Mob was made out of how he felt, or more specifically, Shigo Kageyama was his interpretation of his emotions at the time. And this is where I want to talk about now. I've really started off this video sad, haven't I? Don't worry, it will get lighter towards the end and I'll make more jokes and it's a much more video. You interpret that how you will. But if you have come to the channel with a rain cloud over your head, I'm just giving you a monsoon first, so just wait until the whole storm dries out and everything will be okay. Now, Kageyama, or Mob, as we'll call him for the rest of the video so everyone can, know who he is properly, as I said earlier, was created and designed by the mangaka at the time because he was expressing his emotions in, well, extraordinary fashion. And after what I tell you, things are gonna start making a lot more sense. Now, Mob is an anxiety-driven boy that can't for the life of him talk to the girl he actually likes, that can't have a bond with anyone, even his family. The only person he really has a good bond with is Reagan at the start of the series. And Reagan in the show is a non-psychic psychic. I'll get to it eventually, it all makes sense. But unlike anyone else around him, he has godlike powers that he didn't actually want. Realistically, Mob just wants to fit in and be like everyone else. He doesn't want this power to give him everything, but actually work hard for everything he wants and get it through hard work. And if you've watched the anime or read the manga by now, you know how the story goes. Me personally, I've done both because I like this show a little too much. Mob is a boy with incredible power, and when he hits 100%, he completely loses control of his emotions and basically becomes a god. These are emotions that he himself has kept hidden and suppressed through the rest of the series because at the start of the series he couldn't express them to anybody. These are emotions that he himself have actually kept in, and well, due to him not being able to express them properly, he has gone out of control. Now, I'm not the one to say that the mangaka One is a god, but he's very close to it, but what I'm trying to say is that Mob is a reflection of the mangaka himself. He has the power to be able to make these incredible stories such as One Punch Man, and he probably already knew that Mob Psycho would do just as well because it kind of follows the same concept as its predecessor. However, I have a feeling that he actually probably just wants to make something completely new and unique, and feel that way of earning your way up to the top and properly working hard for every single manga being re-released and redone and constantly being revamped, so that eventually he would become this big mangaka with a long-standing series. However, ironically, just like Mob, due to him having massive success within the manga industry, he probably had to suppress a lot of his emotions for the general media. So he ended up exploding his emotions onto the pieces of paper that would soon become later known as Mob Psycho 100. And that's probably why it's so full of colour, even more so jam-packed full of genuine raw emotion. Okay, now we're off the history of the mangaka. Oh my god, Mob Psycho is absolutely amazing. The first few minutes I have to act professional, like I have stability and I got my life together, but when the curtains drop after 6 minutes, here I am, complete mess myself. Yeah, this isn't a deep review channel where I don't change the tone of my voice the whole time. I voice my opinion on anime or films that I like, and that's about it. I do bring some facts to the channel and some history about the mangaka or the director that made the films or the anime, and well, apart from that, I just bring loads of opinions, and if you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you can disagree in the comments, and we can have a laugh about it afterwards. But before I talk about what I absolutely love about Mob Psycho, I should probably talk about the title of the video and, well, if we're getting a season 3 or not. Now, if you've been keeping up with the Mob Psycho Twitter page, you know they've been counting up to 100 since day 1. As I'm recording this, they're on day 64. Every Mob Psycho fan doesn't actually know what this is, and I have two theories. Now, number one is the obvious one that everyone thinks it is that it's a Mob Psycho season 3, which is, all I wish for, I can't lie. Honestly, you have no idea how happy that would make me. Like, I am not joking, I'd probably throw my PlayStation out the window. Actually, never mind, PS5s are really hard to come by as it is. No, that's never happening. However, I'm actually not holding my breath, that's what's actually gonna happen, and here's some reasons why. Firstly, he has absolutely no reason to make a third season whatsoever. Secondly, if they were going to animate a third season of absolutely anything, it would definitely be One Punch. Despite the second season's animation being the equivalent of, a gas being let out of a balloon. Which is sad, I can't lie, but the manga version of that season is, fucking amazing. But my other theory is that we'll actually have a spin-off series, and I believe it will be with Reagan. And before people smash in the comments that I'm wrong and I'm an idiot, let me explain. Now, it won't be a fully fledged series, but it might be a one-season special adaptation. But I do believe it will take place between the seasons 2 and 3 of Mob Psycho 100, and then we will be confirmed Mob Psycho Season 3. But for now, we will be focusing on Reagan and his sidekick. Let me just read it, because Japanese pronunciation is not my strong suit yet. Katsuya Serizawa. I probably mispronounced that still, but I could have done a lot worse. Think about it. Reagan will still have a powerful Esper, and it would also mean that we could see the development of his character. And obviously, we'll just have more Reagan, which is, well, it's more Reagan, what more could you ask? But I do see this being more likely than us getting a Season 3 of Mob Psycho. But I could be completely wrong, and to be honest, I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong. Either way, it's more of the world of Mob Psycho 100, I'm down for it either way. And ironically, this leads on to the rest of the video. Why I love the world of Mob Psycho 100, and why it's in my top 5 best anime of all time. Now, the world of Mob Psycho 100 is phenomenal. The art style, the colours, and just the general vibe of it is phenomenal and so unique, not just to the mangaka style, but also the animation style. If anyone has seen the manga, you know it is so out of the way of any other manga style. It is so basically drawn, but then when it all turns up to 11, it's phenomenal. And somehow they're able to encapsulate that very basic manga drawing and the incredible complex manga drawing into animation form. And it's phenomenal because it's not like normal manga to animation where it's alright and a bit better. Holy shit! I don't usually promote mangas to anyone, I really don't. I mean, if you like anime, you like anime. If you like manga, you like manga. Do what you want. But you've got to read Mob Psycho's manga. It is absolutely insane. But the first thing I've probably got to talk about and why I love Mob Psycho 100 so much is the fight scenes. And the mangaka's predecessor, One Punch Man, is notorious for its scenes, especially the end of the first season's fight scene, which is just phenomenal. And going into Mob Psycho 100, if you're wondering if you're going to get fight scenes of that caliber, holy crap, yes. There is fight scenes in this series that I prefer to One Punch, and I don't just mean by a little bit, I mean there is a whole 10 miles and a bit. They are insane. And right now in my head, there is 2 that actually stick out properly to me. Now, I don't remember what either are called, but I do remember the scene, how it took place. Now, the first one I actually love is when Mob actually defends his brother and goes 100%. It is phenomenal just for an alleyway fight to be that insane. The dialogue, the colour, the art style, the transformation, bro, it's insane. Like, my brain. Before watching Mob, I watched One Punch, and One Punch was incredible, but this, it made me feel goosebumps because it just went to 11 from 1 so damn quick. And the other fight scene that sticks out to me is when Mob goes into this girl's mind and basically, you know, pretends he's a normal high school girl, and this demon goes, this is how she would really treat you. Ooh. At the end of that sequence, Mob remembers, Mob goes nuts, and he has a fight with this demon, and it's insane. It's phenomenal. It does leave any One Punch Man fight in the dust, and my jaw was dropped from start to finish. That's how much I loved this. And for me to say my jaw was dropped from start to finish, for most people would just be that's pretty good. I have the expectations of the Queen. Unless the Beatles from the 1960s are playing, I will never smile. So for me to have my jaw drop for about 10 minutes, 12 minutes, is incredible. Now, Mob Psycho 100's characters are probably the best part about the whole show. Now, if you watched One Punch and you haven't watched Mob, you will probably say one of its biggest weaknesses, especially with One Punch Man's first season, is its character development. And as Season 2 does kind of touch on character development quite a bit, it doesn't do enough to save what Season 1 didn't do. However, Mob Psycho 100 really goes into character development from the get-go, especially on our protagonist, Mob. See Mob go for this anxious middle school boy to this very confident, out there, willing to try anything. I mean, I would say grown up, but probably ages a few months in between both seasons. It's nice to see him fully come out of his shell, and to kind of teach everyone that you don't need to use your powers to really earn anything, and earning things through hard work is so much better. And the main way we see Mob's development through physical attributions and physical, I don't know, development? Is that the word? I think so. Basically, how we see Mob get better mentally and physically is through the Body Improvement Club. And I do need to say, we all need something like the Body Improvement Club in our lives. Mob was too lucky. Punch him. Actually, if I punched him, I'd probably be in Saturn within about 3 seconds. However, in Season 2, it probably introduced some antagonists, the Esper group called Claw. Now, their interests are basically like, we're gonna rule the world because we're Espers and we're better than everyone else. Now, the enemy group was nothing special. I will admit, it wasn't amazing, but it did enough that you did enjoy their interactions and the characters they developed. I wasn't bored or annoyed at any antagonists that I saw. All of them were full of character and personality. The group didn't need to be there as much as they just could have got a load of individual characters and thrown them together. But that is not me saying that I didn't enjoy Claw. I thought it was brilliant. I thought every scene with them in it was absolutely brilliant, and how they all bounced off each other was flawless. And you can definitely see the mangaka's writing ability absolutely shine through this. And in fact, it leads on to one of my favourite scenes. But the thing I absolutely adored the most out of the characters is the relatability between them all. You will be guaranteed to kind of see a part of yourself through one of these characters, whether that be Mob, or Reagan, or one of the other supporting cast members. But actually, this leads me on to the plot, and our final point of discussion for today's video. The plot of Mob Psycho 100 is absolutely brilliant, with the Claw arc, and just Mob generally finding out his abilities and what it means to really live and work hard for what you want. There are so many plot points I could talk about in this series that are so worth talking about. For example, Mob's brother getting Esper powers and abusing it to the fullest. Any interaction with Dimple, because Dimple's great. But the one I love, and it's probably the most notorious one in the show, is when Mob confronts Reagan about him actually not having psychic powers and how Mob knew the whole time. If you haven't guessed by now, Reagan's my favourite character in the anime by a mile. I absolutely adore him. I've watched both sub and dub, and I love him in both. And before people ask what I preferred, I did prefer the dub. I love Reagan in the dub. I thought whoever voiced him smashed the role. But each to their own, you know? The sub was brilliant as well. I've watched both. They're great. But when Mob tells Reagan that he knew and that he never left him because of that, he was just happy that someone was willing to teach him how to control it and to be a good person. It kind of showed you that Reagan wasn't a bad guy, but actually just a good guy doing bad things for good reasons. And you find out he was unintentionally teaching Mob how to be a good person without him even trying. And it kind of resembles what the whole show is about, that earning is much better than taking what you want with the power you have. The fact that Reagan wasn't an Esper, but despite the fact he actually did want to help people, especially when Mob came along, he wanted to help as many people as possible, even if it was through Mob, but we'll move on from that. And that theme of getting what you want through physical power, not through power you were given, it runs across the whole show and all through the plot, and it's brilliant, and it's what makes Mob Psycho so well done. And on that note, I'm ending the video here. Now, yes, this is my first video really doing something like this, where I'm covering the plot, having up a good laugh, trying to be nicer with the commentary, little review, little laughs, little opinions, all that stuff. I'm new to it, so there's a few little gaps in me even, or I'm not as good as I could be. Please let me know. I do want to improve as much as I possibly can. I'm going to try to upload twice a week, or at least once a week with a 30-minute video. And yeah, I've been me, you've been you. Watch the video, and I'll see you in a bit. Bye!